My name is Lily, and I found something so scary that it still shakes my heart today. One day, I was looking at my old family photos, and I noticed something very wrong, something that made my hands cold. In every picture, my face was gone, deleted, erased. It was like I never lived in that moment, like my family wanted to remove me from life itself. I thought maybe it was a mistake, until the real photographer sent me the original pictures. And what I saw inside those originals destroyed everything I believed about my own family. Before we go deeper into this story, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and tell us in the comments where you are watching from. It always makes us happy to see how far our stories travel. My name is Lily, and I want to tell you something very strange and very painful for my life. My English is not perfect, so please forgive me. I try my best to speak, because this story is heavy on my heart for many years. Sometimes I feel like if I don't speak it out, maybe my chest will explode. And maybe someone out there understand my pain too. I was born in a normal family, at least that is what people from outside think. But inside the house, everything was not normal. In my home, there was always one rule: family image is everything. My mother say this line every day like it is some holy thing. Family image, family name, family picture. She say this more than she say, I love you. Maybe she never say, I love you. Honestly, I have one younger sister. Her name is Emily. She is always the perfect one. Perfect hair, perfect smile, perfect school, perfect clothes. If she sneeze, my family claps. If I breathe, they say why I breathe so loud. So you understand the difference. When I was small, like 7 or 8, I start to feel something strange. Whenever my mother take family pictures, she always tell me, move little bit left, Lily, little more, and suddenly I stand half outside the picture. I did not understand that time because I was child. I thought maybe I am too tall or too wide, or maybe the camera not see me good. But now, when I look back, I see everything very clear. The first time something very weird happened was at my cousin's birthday party. My uncle had a big camera, a very expensive one. He take big family photo with everyone. I was excited because I wore my first pretty dress ever. It was pink and shiny. I smile so big my cheeks hurt. 2 weeks later, the printed photos come. Everyone looks normal. But my picture, my face was gone. Not like cropped, not like blurred. It was actually replaced. Like someone take a sticker or someone else's face and put on my body. But the face was not even from someone in my family. It was like some random child's face. I remember showing the photo to my mother. Mom, what happened to my face? I ask her. She did not even look at me. She say, maybe camera mistake. Don't ask stupid question. And she walk away. No explanation. No comfort. Nothing. From that day, something inside me break a little. As I grow older, maybe 12 or 13, this thing happen again and again. Every family picture, every birthday picture, every school picture, in albums on walls, in frames, my face was not my face, always replaced. Sometimes with Emily's face copy-pasted on my body. Sometimes with some random, smiling girl face. Sometimes my whole body removed, like I never exist. I start to feel like maybe they actually don't want me in this family. Maybe they want some other daughter in my place. My mother always say, smile good, Lily. Don't ruin the picture. But what is the point of my smile if she remove it later? One day when I was 15, my friend from school, Hannah, asked me if she can see my childhood photos for some project. I was scared, but I say okay. I bring album from living room. When she open it, she start laughing, not in a mean way, but in shocked way. She say, Lily, why your face look different in every picture? Why your baby picture look like 3 different babies? I didn't know what to answer. My throat close. Tears come in my eyes. I say, maybe editing problem. She say, who edits baby pictures? Something wrong here. That night, I cry quietly in bathroom, so no one hear. My tears fall, but I wash my face again and again, because my mother hate when my eyes look red. She say red eyes make family look bad. When I become 18, something happened that opened my eyes more. My family go to a big Christmas photo shoot. My mother hire a professional photographer, a man with big lights and big camera. He talk very kindly with everyone. He direct us how to sit, how to pose. I try to smile natural, but inside my heart is scared. I knew what will happen later. They will remove my face again. When photographer finish, he say he will send digital copies in 2 days. But my mother say, send only to me, not to anyone else, especially not Lily. She say this loudly, like I am some criminal. Photographer look confused. I feel my cheeks burn in shame. After 2 days, my mother get the photos. She print them fast and hang them everywhere in living room, dining room, hallway. But when I see them, I feel like my soul leave my body for 1 second. In every single photo, my face was replaced again. This time replaced so nicely, like a professional editing job. It almost looked real. My sister Emily looked perfect in every photo. Mother and father look perfect. Only I look like some ghost girl who not belong there. I asked my mother, why you do this? Why my face not good enough? Why you don't want me in pictures? She looked straight at me and say, because you ruin the balance look of the family. You don't have photogenic face. Emily does. Try not to ask emotional questions. Her words hit my heart like knife. But I stay quiet because in our home, if I speak, I get punished. When I turn 21, I leave home for college. And honestly, it was first time I breathe free. But my family still send me photos from events. And in every photo, they keep replacing my face. Even when I'm 200 miles away, they still don't let my real face exist in family memories. Sometimes I think why they do this. I'm not monster. I'm not ugly. I have normal face. But my mother always want perfect family image. And maybe in her mind, I am not part of perfect picture. Everything continued like this until one day, something happened that changed my whole life. The same photographer from that Christmas photo shoot, the man who took those big family pictures, he sent me a message. I still remember that day. I was sitting on my bed, tired after work, and I hear notification on my phone. It was email from unknown name. I open it. It say, "Hi Lily. I don't know if I should tell you this, but I feel something wrong. I found original photos from your family shoot. You may want to see them." My heart start beating so fast, I feel dizzy. I reply him quickly, "Please send me." 5 minutes later, he sent a folder with all original images. I clicked the first one, and when I saw it, I dropped my phone from my hand, because in that original photo, my face was there. My real face, my real smile, my real expression, my real eyes, everything real. Nothing wrong with my face, nothing weird, nothing ugly, just normal me. And that moment, I understand something big. My family didn't replace my face because it looked bad. They replaced my face because they wanted me erased. They wanted Emily to look like the only daughter, the main daughter, the loved daughter, and me? I was just extra thing in the picture. That night, I sit on floor of my apartment and cry so much my throat hurt. I cry because I finally understand whole truth. My whole life, I think maybe I'm ugly, maybe camera not like me, maybe I am problem. But I was not the problem. They were the problem. They were removing me from memories on purpose. But why? Why a family do this to their own child? That question burned inside me every second. Next day, photographer send me one more message. He say, "Lily, I need to tell you something more. Something I think you should know. Something about your birth." And that is the moment my whole world starts shaking. Because I know this was not just about pictures anymore. Something bigger was hidden. And I was finally going to find out. The next days after the family photo shoot felt very strange for me. I remember waking up early every morning, like always. The sun came inside my room through the small window, and the light felt soft on my face. But even when everything looked normal on the outside, inside my heart something felt wrong, very wrong. I kept thinking about the way my family acted in the photo shoot. The fake smiles, the way they stood away from me, the cold eyes, the whispering, and how my mother kept fixing everyone's hair, but never even looked at me. It was like the world was normal for them, but broken for me. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw that moment again, when the photographer took photos and my father pulled my little sister closer and moved me a little away. It was a small move, just a few steps, but the message behind it was big, bigger than anything. It said, "You don't belong here." And that message started echoing inside my head again and again. I tried to act normal. I tried to smile at breakfast. I tried to talk about school. I tried to help with chores, but nobody noticed me. Nobody asked how I was. Nobody even looked at me for more than 2 seconds. It felt like I was becoming invisible in my own home. Sometimes I would look at the family pictures on the wall, the old ones, the ones before everything went strange. And in those photos I could see myself. I was smiling. My mother had her arm around me. My father stood proudly behind me. My siblings were close to me, hugging me, laughing with me. Those photos felt like a different world. A world that I once lived in, but not anymore. But the real pain started when the day finally came. The day my mother said the new photo album had arrived. I was sitting on the sofa when she walked into the living room with a big smile. She had a white envelope in her hand. Everyone became excited. My siblings ran and sat around her like baby birds waiting for food. My father smiled proudly. They were acting like this album was the most beautiful thing in the world. But no one called my name. No one said, "Come join us." No one even looked at the sofa where I was sitting. Still, I quietly stood up. I slowly walked toward them. I wanted to see the pictures too. I wanted to feel included. I wanted to feel like family. But as soon as I came close, my mother closed the album with her hand. She didn't say it with words, but she wanted me to stay away. So I stood behind them, silently, like a ghost watching its own house. My mother opened the album again, and the first page was a full-size family portrait. Everyone smiled beautifully. Everyone looked perfect. Except something was wrong. My face. It was not my real face. It was changed, edited, replaced. My mother smiled at the picture and said, "See, now this is a perfect family photo." Perfect? Perfect for who? My heart started beating fast, so fast I felt dizzy. I looked again and again, thinking maybe it was a mistake. Maybe the photo got damaged. Maybe the photographer used some filter. But no, it was not a mistake. They replaced my real face with another face, the face of someone else. A stranger. They had erased me completely. I felt something break inside my chest. Something deep, something that words cannot explain. It was like someone took an eraser and removed me from my own life. My father, my mother, my siblings, they were all looking at the picture with pride. They didn't see anything strange. They didn't see my shaking hands. They didn't hear my breath getting heavy. They didn't see the tears rising in my eyes. Because they didn't care. I tried to speak. "Mom, this is not my face." She looked at me for 1 second, only 1 second, with cold eyes and said, "It looks better this way. Better this way. Better without me? Better with a face that was not mine." My throat closed. I felt like I couldn't breathe. I stepped back slowly. Nobody noticed. Nobody followed me. Nobody asked me if I was okay. I went to my room and shut the door quietly. I didn't want to make noise. I didn't want to disturb their happy moment. Inside my room, I sat on the floor. I pulled my knees to my chest, and I finally let the tears fall. I cried quietly. I cried like a child who lost everything. I cried because the world I trusted felt fake. My family, the people who should love me the most, had deleted me from their memory. They didn't remove my face from just one picture. They removed me from my own story. I wanted to scream. I wanted to go and ask them why. Why did they do this? Why did they remove my face? Why did they replace me with someone else? But deep inside, I already knew. They didn't want me anymore. They wanted someone else. A better version, maybe. Someone who wasn't me. That night, I couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw the fake face they put on my body. A face that looked nothing like me. A face that did not match my emotions. A face that did not belong to my memories. And the worst part, they liked it more than my real face. My mind kept repeating one question. If my family doesn't want my real face, do they even want me? Days passed, but I couldn't forget the photo album. I couldn't forget that cold sentence. It looks better this way. I started avoiding my family. I stopped talking during dinner. I stayed more time in my room. I didn't sit with them for movies. I didn't join them for snacks. It wasn't because I wanted to avoid them. It was because they had already avoided me. I just followed what they started. But something even stranger started happening. Whenever I passed by the living room, I saw my mother showing the album to guests. She smiled proudly. She said nice things about everyone except me. She never said my name. She never mentioned me. She acted like I was not part of the family at all. And every time she opened a new page, my fake face was there. Cold, edited, wrong, like a lie printed on paper. But inside me, a small fire started to burn. A fire of anger. A fire of truth. A fire that said, one day they will know what they did. And that day came sooner than I expected, when the photographer sent me a secret message that changed everything. After the painful days that followed the new photo album, I felt like a shadow living in my own house. I moved around quietly. I breathed quietly. I existed quietly. Nobody asked where I was. Nobody asked if I ate. Nobody even asked if I was okay. My family laughed together. They sat together. They smiled together. But when I entered the room, everything became silent for a second, like I was some stranger who didn't belong in their world. And that second, that silent second, always hurt like a knife. One night, I sat on my bed with my phone in my hand. The room was dark, except for the small light from the screen. I was scrolling without watching anything. My mind was empty. My heart was heavy. Then suddenly, a notification appeared. A message from an unknown number. I almost ignored it. I thought maybe it was spam, maybe some wrong number. But then the message preview shocked me. It said, I need to talk to you about the photos. My eyes opened wide. My heart stopped for a second. I quickly opened it. The full message was, hello, I am the photographer from your family photo shoot. Please do not show this message to your family. I need to tell you something important. It felt like lightning hit my body. Why would the photographer message me? Why tell me to hide it from my family? What important thing did he want to say? 100 questions started burning inside my mind. My hands were shaking when I replied, okay, what happened? I waited. I stared at the phone. Every second felt like one whole minute. Finally, the 3 dots appeared. He was typing. Then his message came. Something is wrong with your photos. Very wrong. My heart started beating fast again. My throat became dry. I felt something inside me whisper, this is about your face. I sat straight. My fingers moved quickly. My face? What wrong? He replied after a few seconds. Your family told me to remove your real face from every photo. They gave me another face to put on your body. They paid extra money for that. I froze. I read the message once, then again, then again. My mind couldn't understand for a moment. My own family paid someone to remove my face, to replace my real face with someone else's. The hurt came back, but this time it hit harder than before. It felt like someone punched me inside my chest. I typed slowly with shaking hands. But why? Why they do this? There was a long pause. Maybe he didn't know how to tell me. Maybe he didn't want to break me more. But then he sent another message. I don't know the reason, but when I asked your mother if she was sure, she said yes. We don't want that face in our family memories anymore. That line, those words, they cut me deeper than anything I ever felt. We don't want that face in our family memories anymore. That face was my face, my identity, my childhood, my existence, and they didn't want it. I closed my eyes. Tears came quietly. I tried to breathe, but my chest felt tight. The photographer sent another message. I felt very uncomfortable doing this. I felt it was wrong. So, I saved the original photos before editing. All of them. I sat up straight. My tears stopped for a moment. He continued, "Your real photos, your real face, your real place in the family. I still have them." My heart thumped loudly. My mind couldn't believe what I just read. He had the originals. He kept them safe. He didn't delete them. For the first time in many days, I felt a small light inside me. Very small, but real. I quickly typed, "Please, can I see them?" He replied, "Yes, but please don't tell your family. I think they will be angry. Very angry." I felt a strange mix of fear and hope. Fear of my family's truth. Hope of seeing myself again. I wrote, "Send." My hands were sweating. My heart beat so loudly I could hear it in my ears. A moment later, the first photo arrived. My breath stopped. It was the family photo from the album. But this time, my real face was there. My real smile. My real eyes. My real expression. I looked like me. I stared at the photo for a long time. Then I cried again. But this time, the tears were different. They were not only from sadness. They were from seeing a part of myself that I thought was lost forever. I replied, Thank you so much." The photographer said, "There are many more. I will send them all." And he did. One by one, he sent every original picture. All the photos where my family looked cold in real life, but acted loving in the edited version. In the originals, I saw the truth. My father didn't smile at me. My mother didn't touch my shoulder. My sister didn't stand close to me. My brother looked annoyed when I was near him. My family created distance everywhere we stood. In the edited album, they fixed all of that. They stood close to me, smiling. They looked perfect. But the originals showed the real story. A broken family trying to hide their brokenness. After sending all the pictures, the photographer wrote, "I don't know what happened between you and your family, but whatever it is, you deserve to know the truth." I didn't type anything for a long moment. I was too emotional, too shocked, too angry, too hurt, but also too ready to uncover everything. I asked him one last question. Why are you messaging me now?" He replied with a message that changed everything. "Because your mother told me to delete the originals today. She said nobody should ever see them. I felt something was very wrong, so before deleting, I wanted to give them to the person who deserved them the most, you." My hands went cold. My eyes widened. My mother was trying to erase the originals completely. She wanted no evidence left. She wanted no truth left. She wanted no memory of me left. The photographer sent one final message. "I think your family is hiding something big, something you don't know." My heart dropped. He added, "The way your mother spoke, it felt like she is afraid of you knowing the truth." Afraid? Afraid of me? Why would my own mother be afraid of me? I asked with trembling fingers, "What truth?" He replied, "I don't know, but the way she said delete her face forever, it scared me." Delete her face forever. Those words echoed again and again in my mind. Something was wrong, very wrong, something big, something hidden, something dangerous. And now, my heart was ready to find it. I saved all the original photos, secretly. I hid them deep inside a private folder. Because those photos were not just pictures. They were proof. Proof that my family was lying. Proof that something creepy and dark was happening behind my back. For the first time in my life, I didn't feel confused anymore. I felt focused. I felt alert. I whispered to myself in the dark room, "I will find the truth, no matter what." I didn't know that the truth waiting for me would destroy everything I ever believed about my family. And the photographer, he wasn't just sending photos. He was sending me the first piece of a very dark puzzle. After the photographer sent me all the original photos, I felt like I was holding a small piece of a very big secret. A secret that my family was trying to bury, a secret they did not want me to see ever again. But now the truth was in my hands. The whole night I couldn't sleep. I kept staring at my phone again and again, looking at my real face in the photos. It felt strange, painful, but also powerful. For many days, I believed my family didn't see me. I believed I was invisible. But looking at those originals, I understood one thing. They didn't remove me because they didn't see me. They removed me because they didn't want to see me. This feeling went deeper than pain. It was like my heart opened and fell down from a very tall building. I sat on my bed and whispered to myself, why? Why they hate my face this much? The room was dark. My voice was shaking. My eyes burned from crying too long. But inside that sadness, something new was born. A fire. A small fire at first. But it started to grow. A fire of anger. A fire of courage. A fire of wanting answers. I decided that day, I will not be silent anymore. I will not stay like a ghost in my own house. I will not live in the shadows of their lies. I would find the truth. When morning came, I walked downstairs. I looked normal, but inside, I was full of storm. My mother was sitting on the dining table, eating breakfast. My father was reading the newspaper. My sister was scrolling on her phone. My brother was laughing at some video. Everything looked normal. Everything looked peaceful. Everything looked like a happy family. But now I knew. None of it was real. I watched them closely, and suddenly I started noticing things I never noticed before. 1. My mother stopped talking when I entered the room. She looked at me like she was hiding something. 2. My father avoided eye contact. Whenever I looked at him, he looked away quickly. 3. My sister looked at me with fear. Not anger, not hate, but actual fear. 4. My brother watched me carefully, like he was checking if I knew something. Their strange behavior made my heart beat fast. My stomach twisted. My hands turned cold. Something was definitely wrong. Something big. I stood near the table and spoke slowly. Mom, can I ask you one question? She looked up sharply, too sharply. Her eyes were wide. Her shoulders went stiff. What question? She asked quickly. Her voice sounded normal, but there was a tiny fear inside it. I swallowed hard and asked, Yesterday, did you tell the photographer to delete the original photos? The moment I said the words, the entire room froze. My father lowered his newspaper. My sister stopped breathing for a second. My brother dropped his spoon. And my mother, her face changed completely. Her eyes became small. Her lips pressed together. Her hands shook a little. She asked, Who told you that? Her voice was not soft anymore. It was sharp, angry, nervous. I said slowly, He told me. My mother stood up so fast that her chair made a loud sound. Her face was red. Her hands were shaking. Why did he tell you? She shouted. Did you message him? I stepped back a little, but I spoke the truth. No, he messaged me. My father also stood up now. Why would he message you? He asked. I looked at them and said, Because he felt something wrong. He kept the originals. He gave them to me. The room went silent. Silent in a scary way. Not normal silence. My mother whispered, You saw the originals? I nodded. My sister covered her mouth with her hands. My brother looked like he saw a ghost. My father closed his eyes like he was tired of hiding something for a long time. My mother slowly sat back down. She looked at me coldly and said, You should have never seen them. Her words stabbed me again. Why? Why should I not see my own face, my own memories, my own place in the family? Later that day, something even more strange happened. My older sister came into my room, quietly. She closed the door behind her. She looked scared, like she was carrying a heavy secret. I asked, What happened? She took a long breath and whispered, You should not have those photos. You should delete them. Her voice was shaking. I looked at her confused. Why? They are mine. She looked at the floor and said, Just listen to me. Delete them before Mom sees them. Please. I stepped closer to her and asked, "Why you all acting like this? What is wrong with my face? What is the truth?" She started crying. Actual tears. She covered her face with her hands and whispered, "I can't tell you. I can't. I promised them." My heart started beating fast again. My mind felt like it was going to explode. "Promised what?" I asked loudly. "Promised what?" She looked up at me with tearful eyes and said one sentence that turned my whole body cold. "If you know the truth, everything will change. Our whole family will break." Break? Why would the truth break the family? What were they hiding? She grabbed my hand and whispered, "Please just stop asking questions." But I pulled my hand away. For the first time, I felt stronger than my fear. I said slowly, "I'm not stopping." She cried harder. She tried to hug me, but I stepped back. She whispered, "Mom is scared of you knowing something. Dad is scared. All of them are scared. You don't understand how big this is." I asked again, "Then tell me." She shook her head and said, "I can't. I really can't." Then she walked out of my room, crying. She left me with 1,000 questions and 0 answers. But one thing was clear now. My family was terrified of one truth, and that truth had something to do with me. That night, I couldn't sleep again. I kept thinking, why were they scared? Why delete my face? Why hide my real photos? Why did my sister cry? Why was my mother angry? My brain was full of storm. Around 1 a.m., I went downstairs to drink water. When I passed the living room, I heard voices. My family was talking, quietly, whispering. I stopped walking and hid behind the wall. I listened carefully. My mother's voice said, she saw the originals. "This is not good." My father said, "I told you to handle it earlier. Now she will start asking questions." My brother whispered, "What if she finds out the full truth?" My sister said, "She already knows something is wrong. She asked me today." There was a long pause. Then my mother said something that made my blood freeze. "If she continues to dig, she will find out what happened the day she was born." My heart almost stopped. What happened the day I was born? What were they hiding? What truth was connected to my birth? I covered my mouth with my hand so they didn't hear my breathing. My father whispered, "We cannot let her know. If she finds out, she will leave this house forever." And then my mother said the most painful words I ever heard. "Good. Let her leave. She was never supposed to be part of this family anyway." My whole body went numb. My legs felt weak. Tears filled my eyes instantly. Never supposed to be part of this family? What did that mean? Why would she say that? Why would she reject me like this? What truth was big enough to erase my face from photos? My mother continued, "As long as she never sees the truth, everything will stay normal." My father added, "But now that she has the originals, it's only a matter of time." I felt my heart shaking inside my chest. I didn't want to hear more. I didn't want to break more. I ran quietly back to my room, closed the door softly, and cried silently into my pillow. But between the tears, a new feeling grew again, a feeling stronger than fear, stronger than sadness, a feeling of determination. I whispered to myself, "I will find the truth, no matter what, even if it destroys everything." And that night, I made a promise to myself, a promise that would change everything. After that night, nothing felt normal anymore. My mind was not quiet. My heart was not calm. My soul was not peaceful. Every second, every minute, every breath, I kept hearing my mother's voice inside my head. She was never supposed to be part of this family anyway. Those words hit me again and again like sharp knives. Who was I then? If not part of the family, then what? All my memories felt fake now. The birthdays, the vacations, the hugs, the laughter. Everything looked like a movie now. A movie where I was just an extra character, not the daughter. That morning, I woke up with swollen eyes, but my mind was sharper than ever. I told myself, today I will start finding the truth. When I walked downstairs, it felt like everyone was staring at me. Not with love, not with normal family feelings. No, they stared at me like someone stares at a ticking bomb. Scared, careful, waiting. My mother was in the kitchen, pretending to be busy. My father was pretending to read his messages. My sister was staring at her cereal. My brother was biting his nails. No one spoke. No one said good morning. No one smiled. And the moment I entered, I felt something strange, a silence that was too heavy. It was like the whole house was holding its breath. Finally, my mother broke the silence. She said in a harsh voice, "Give me your phone." Just like that. No reason. No explanation. I held my phone tight and asked, "Why?" She looked angry. "Because you don't need to talk to strangers. Give it." But I knew exactly why she wanted it. She wanted the original photos deleted. I shook my head slowly. No. Her eyes widened. No one in this house had ever told her no before. My father stood up. "Give the phone to your mother." I stepped back. My voice trembled, but I stood strong. "This is my phone. My photos. I will not give it." My mom clenched her jaw. Her hands tightened into fists. My sister whispered, "Mom, please don't fight." But my mom didn't listen. She walked toward me slowly, step by step, like a lion walking toward its prey. My hands were shaking. My breath was short, but I didn't move. When she reached me, she tried to grab the phone from my hand. I pulled it back. Her voice turned sharp like a knife. "Delete the photos." I whispered, "No." She slapped the table so hard that my sister jumped. "Delete them. Now." Her scream echoed in the whole house, but I didn't listen. I said quietly, "Tell me why you removed my face, then I will think about deleting them." The whole room went silent again. My mother's chest moved fast. She was breathing like she ran a marathon. My father finally spoke. "Your mother is right. Those photos should not exist." I asked calmly, "Why not?" He didn't answer. None of them did. So I said one sentence that changed the whole moment. "If you don't tell me the truth, I will go outside and find it." Their faces went white, like they saw something that scared them deeply. My mother whispered, "Don't you dare." I walked past all of them and said, "Watch me." I left the living room and went upstairs. My mind was full of one thought. If they won't tell me the truth, I will find the truth myself. I walked to the attic, a place no one in the family ever visited. A place filled with old boxes, dust, and forgotten memories. When I opened the attic door, cold air touched my face. The room was dark, quiet, and heavy. I turned on the small light bulb hanging from the ceiling. The light flickered. The shadows moved, and the whole place looked like a secret museum. I looked around slowly. Old clothes, broken toys, old albums, boxes with no names. Then I saw something interesting. A wooden trunk in the corner, very old, locked with a rusty lock. I walked toward it. My heart started beating fast again. My hands were cold. My legs were shaking. Something inside me whispered, "This trunk has answers." I found a small metal rod on the floor and forced the lock open. It took time. It took strength. But finally, click. The lock opened. I lifted the trunk lid slowly. Inside I found old baby clothes, a hospital bracelet, a birth certificate, an envelope. The moment I touched the envelope, my hand stopped, because on the envelope, my name was written, but not in my mother's handwriting, not in my father's handwriting. No, the handwriting was different, unknown, shaky, like someone wrote it with fear or sadness. My heart started shaking. I opened the envelope. Inside there was a letter, a very old letter. The paper was yellow. The ink looked faded, but I could still read it. The first line destroyed me. "If you are reading this, then you are old enough to know the truth about your birth. I felt dizzy. I sat on the floor. My hands were shaking so much I could barely hold the paper. I continued reading. I am not your mother. Those words hit me like thunder. I couldn't breathe. My throat closed. My eyes filled with tears instantly. Not my mother? Then who is? I kept reading. Your real mother died when you were 1 day old. She asked me to protect you, to raise you, to give you love, but I failed her. I froze. My brain stopped working. Was this written by the woman who raised me? No, it didn't look like her handwriting. Then who wrote this letter? I kept reading more. Your father agreed to take you in, but we made a mistake. We hid the truth from you. We pretended you were ours. We pretended nothing happened. My heart broke into pieces. Everything was a lie. My whole life, my whole childhood, every I love you, every you are my child. All fake, all planned, all hidden, but the letter wasn't finished. I read the next lines slowly. As you grow older, you will start to look different from the family. If someday they remove you from memories, please forgive them. They are scared of losing everything. Remove me from memories? Like deleting my face from photos? I felt cold, very cold. Then came the last line of the letter. If you want the whole truth, go to the hospital where you were born. They have one final record we could never erase. I put the letter down. I couldn't move. I couldn't think. I just cried. Long tears. Heavy tears. Tears that came straight from my soul. After crying, I cleaned my face and took a deep breath. I told myself, I am going to that hospital. I will find the final record. I will find the full truth. This was my turning point, my moment of courage, my moment of power. I was done living in lies, done being invisible, done feeling unwanted. I stood up, grabbed the letter, the hospital bracelet, and the birth certificate. I held them close to my chest. I whispered, "This is my story, and I will finish it." Now there was no stopping me. No fear could stop me. No family secret could hold me back. The truth was waiting for me, and I was going to find it, even if it destroyed everything. After that night, I could not sleep. My eyes were open the whole time. My heart was beating very fast. I was scared, confused, angry, and sad all at the same time. I did not know what will happen next in my life. I only knew one thing. My family tried to erase me. They tried to remove my face, my place, my memories. But now the truth was out, and nobody could hide it anymore. When the morning came, I opened my phone and saw many missed calls. Some were from Mom, some from Dad, some from my cousins. Even my brother texted me after many months. Suddenly, everybody remembered me. Everybody wanted to talk to me. Everybody wanted to explain something. But I did not want to talk. Not now. Not after everything they did. I left the phone on the table and walked outside to get some air. My head was hurting from thinking too much. The sky was gray, and it looked like rain was coming. It matched my mood because inside my heart, also it was raining. I kept thinking of one big question. Why did my own family treat me like I did not exist? I stood outside for a long time. My hands were cold. My eyes were tired. But then my phone rang again. This time it was the photographer calling. At first, I did not want to pick up, but then I thought maybe he wanted to tell me something important. So I finally answered. His voice was soft and careful. He said, "Are you okay? I saw your messages. I saw your voice notes. You sounded very hurt. I want to help if I can." My voice broke a little, but I tried to speak normally. "Yes, I am fine. I just need time." He told me he understood. Then he said something very surprising. "I think you should hear the full story. Not only your side, not only your family's side. There is something else I need to tell you. Something about your mother." My heart stopped for a moment. "What about my mother?" I asked. He took a long pause before speaking again. He said, "Your mother, told me to remove your face from the photos. But she also said something else. She told me that you were not supposed to be in the family anymore. She said you were not part of their future. I felt like someone punched me inside the chest. Not supposed to be in the family anymore? Not part of their future? What did that even mean? I asked him if he knew why she said that, but he said he didn't know. He only followed the instructions because he was paid, but he felt very uncomfortable doing it. That is why he kept the original photos safe. He felt like something was wrong. I thanked him again for saving the originals. Then he said one more thing. You deserve to be seen. You deserve to exist in your own memories. Please don't let their actions change your worth. His words felt like warm light in a very dark room. After ending the call, I walked back home. My legs felt heavy. My mind was still full of questions. When I entered the house, my phone rang again. This time it was Mom. My hands were shaking. I didn't want to talk, but I knew I had to face her someday. I answered the call slowly. Her voice was different. Not angry, not cold, not ignoring. She sounded scared. She said, "We need to talk. Please come home. Right now." I told her, "I am home." There was silence. She realized I was in the house already. She told me to come to the living room. I walked slowly to the living room. My heartbeat was loud. I felt like I was walking into a storm. When I reached the living room, Mom was sitting on the sofa. She looked tired, confused, and guilty. Dad was also there. He looked nervous. My brother was standing near the window, looking down at the floor. Nobody said a word for almost 1 minute. We just stood there, breathing the heavy air of silence. Finally, Mom looked up at me. Her eyes were red. Maybe she cried earlier. She said, "I want to explain." But I didn't answer. I wanted her to speak. I wanted the truth. She took a deep breath and continued. "It started many years ago, before you even knew something was wrong. Something happened between your father and me. Something that made our whole relationship break. And at that time I made a mistake. A mistake I tried to fix but only made everything worse." I listened silently. She said, "Someone told me that you were not my real daughter, that there was a hospital mistake when you were born." My eyes opened wide. "What?" She nodded slowly. She told me that when I was a baby, there was a rumor in the hospital about 2 newborns being placed in the wrong cribs. But nothing was confirmed. Nobody knew which babies were switched. Mom said she always had doubts. She loved me, yes, but in her heart, she was scared that one day she would discover I was not her biological child. This fear grew inside her. It made her distant. It made her cold. It made her push me away little by little. Then she saw her friend's daughter, a girl who looked a little like her. And suddenly she started thinking crazy things like, what if that girl is actually my real daughter? Because of fear, she started comparing us. Because of fear, she treated me like an outsider. Because of fear, she slowly erased me. My heart was breaking with every word she said. Then Dad spoke. He said he always believed I was their real daughter. He told Mom many times not to listen to old rumors. But Mom's fear was stronger than truth. So when family photos came, she found it painful to see me in them. She felt like she was looking at a stranger. So she made the photographer remove my face. She whispered, "I was wrong. I was very wrong. And now I know the truth." I asked her, "What truth?" She looked at me with shaking hands and said, "The hospital sent the final confirmation yesterday. You are my daughter. There was no mix-up. There was no switch. I hurt you for nothing. I destroyed our family because of a lie inside my own mind." Tears rolled down my cheeks. I did not know whether to scream, cry, or walk away. For years, I thought maybe I was the problem. Maybe I was not good enough. Maybe I did something wrong. But now I knew the truth. It was never my fault. It was her fear, her insecurity, her imagination, her mistake. My mother started crying loudly now. She held her head in her hands and said, "I don't expect forgiveness. I don't deserve it, but I want you to know the truth. I want you to know that I was scared, not because of you, but because of my own mind. The room became very quiet. I looked at my family, the people who should have protected me, supported me, loved me, but instead they erased me. After a long silence, I finally spoke. My voice was soft, but it shook. I don't know if I can forgive you. Not now. Maybe not ever. What you did broke me. It broke my heart. It broke my trust. I will need time. A lot of time. Mom nodded slowly. I understand, she whispered. I turned to Dad. He said he was sorry too, for staying silent. He said he should have defended me more. He said he felt helpless. My brother also apologized. He said he was young and confused and didn't know how to help. I listened, but my heart was still heavy. Then I said something I never thought I would say. I am not leaving this house. This is my home too. My photos belong here. My face belongs here. My memories belong here. If you want to fix things, then you will start by putting the real photos back. Mom nodded again. She agreed. Dad agreed. My brother agreed. I walked to my room. For the first time I felt strong. Not broken. Not erased. Not invisible. Strong. And that was the day everything changed forever. Not because the truth came out, but because I decided to take my place back in my own life. After that big emotional talk, everything in the house became quiet. Very quiet. The kind of quiet that feels heavy. The kind of quiet where everyone is scared to speak, because one wrong word can break something again. I sat inside my room alone for a long time. I looked at the empty walls. These walls once had my pictures, my childhood photos, my birthday photos, my family photos, but now all the frames were empty. The nails were still in the wall, but the pictures were gone. It looked like someone erased me from my own life. I touched the wall slowly. My heart was hurting again, but this time the pain was different. This time the pain came with strength too, because now I knew the truth. I was not wrong. I was not crazy. I was not imagining things. They really removed me. They really replaced my face. They really erased my memories. But now I was going to bring everything back. After some time, there was a knock on my door. It was Dad. He said, "The photographer is coming. He is bringing all the original photos." My stomach felt tight. My hands became cold. This was the moment I had been waiting for, but also the moment I feared. I came out of the room slowly. Mom was sitting on the sofa. Her eyes were still red from crying. She didn't say anything, but she looked at me with sadness and guilt. My brother was sitting quietly too, looking nervous and awkward. The whole family looked broken. After a few minutes, the doorbell rang. My heart jumped. Dad opened the door, and there he was, the photographer. He was holding a big brown envelope in his hands. His eyes looked soft and understanding, like he felt sorry for what happened. He greeted us and walked inside. He said, "These are all the original photos. Nothing edited. Nothing changed. Everything real." I stared at the envelope. Inside that envelope was my whole life. My real face. My real memories. My real place in this family. Dad thanked him. Mom thanked him. Even my brother thanked him. But I didn't say anything yet. I was too emotional. I felt like if I spoke, I would break down crying again. The photographer handed the envelope to me. Only to me. Not to my parents. Not to my brother. To me. He said, "These belong to you. Only you. You decide what to do with them." My hands shook as I held the envelope. It felt heavier than it looked. Maybe because it was not just paper. It was my identity. I opened the envelope, slowly, very slowly. The first photo I pulled out was a family picture from last year. And there it was. My real face. My real smile. My real place. I looked beautiful. So happy. So natural. And then I remembered how shocked I felt when I saw the edited version. The one where my face was replaced by another girl. Looking at the real one broke something inside me again, but also fixed something inside me at the same time. Mom covered her mouth with her hand and started crying quietly when she saw the photo. She whispered, "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." Dad also looked emotional. My brother looked guilty, but I didn't look at them yet. My eyes were stuck on the photo. I kept pulling out more pictures: birthday pictures, holiday pictures, school event pictures, trip pictures, family gatherings, and in every single photo, I was there, smiling, happy, real, not replaced, not edited, not erased. Seeing all these photos felt like someone was giving me back a part of my soul. For a long time, I didn't say anything. Then, finally, I spoke. My voice was soft but strong. "These are my memories. They were taken from me. I will put them back. Every photo will go back on the walls. My face will be in this home again." Mom cried harder. Dad nodded. My brother wiped his eyes. The photographer gave me a small smile. He said, "If you ever need help, call me. You deserve to have your truth shown." After he left, the room became quiet again, but this time the quiet felt different. Not heavy, not scary, just calm. I sat down on the floor and started dividing the photos into groups: childhood group, school group, celebrations group, family group. My brother came and sat beside me silently, helping me arrange them. He didn't talk much, but he stayed with me the whole time. It was his way of saying sorry. After some time, Dad brought a hammer and small nails. He said, "Tell me where to hang them." I chose the biggest wall in the living room, the wall everyone sees when they walk into the house, the wall where all the replaced photos used to be. I said, "Hang the real ones here." Dad nodded and started putting nails. I handed him the first photo, a picture of me as a little child sitting on Mom's lap. Mom froze when she saw it. Her eyes filled with tears again. Maybe the picture reminded her how much she once loved me before fear destroyed everything. Dad hung the photo on the wall. Then he hung the second one, then the third, then the fourth. Slowly, the wall started filling up with my memories again. My face, my smile, my life. Mom walked closer to the wall. She touched one photo gently. She whispered, "I forgot how much you looked like me when you were small. I was blind. I let my fear control me." She broke down crying again. I felt a sting in my heart. I wanted to comfort her, but I also remembered all the pain she caused me. So I stayed silent, but I didn't stop her from crying. Maybe she needed to feel this pain. Maybe she needed to understand the weight of what she did. After the wall was complete, I stepped back and looked at it. For the first time in many years, I felt like I existed again. Dad said softly, "It feels right now." My brother said, "It looks like home now." Mom whispered, "I will never remove you again. Never." I didn't answer. I walked back to my room with the rest of the photos. I was tired. My heart was heavy, but something inside me felt stronger now. Inside my room, I sat on my bed and started going through the photos one by one. Every picture showed a moment I forgot existed. Every picture showed a version of me that was loved once. And then I cried, not loudly, not dramatically, just soft, quiet tears. Tears of pain, tears of healing, tears of hope. Because for the first time I felt something new. I was not invisible anymore. I was not erased. I was real. I was here. And nobody, not even my own family, could ever replace my face again. After putting all my real photos back on the wall, I felt a little better. But deep inside, there was still one big question inside my heart. Why did my family really replace my face? What was the real reason? Was it just fear? Was it jealousy? Was it something else? I needed the full truth, not half truth, not sorry truth, not crying truth, but the real truth. So the next morning I woke up early, before anyone else, before the house became noisy, and I sat in the living room quietly, waiting for Mom and Dad to wake up. Soon Dad came out first. He looked surprised to see me awake. He tried to smile, but his smile looked tired. Then Mom came out. Her eyes were still swollen from last night crying. I looked at both of them and spoke slowly, very calmly. I need the truth, the full truth. No hiding, no fear, no excuses. Today I want everything clear. Mom and Dad looked at each other. They were scared. I could see it, but I didn't stop. I continued. If you want me to heal, if you want this family to heal, then I need to know why you tried to erase me. For a few seconds, no one said anything. Only silence. Then Dad sat down. Mom sat beside him. Both looked nervous. Finally, Dad said, "We didn't replace you because we didn't love you. We replaced your photos because we were scared to lose you." I frowned. Lose me? What did that mean? Dad continued in simple words. When you were small, you were very sick once. The doctor said maybe you will not survive that night. Your mom cried all night. I held you in my arms. You were not breathing for a few seconds. We thought you were gone. Mom's eyes filled with tears again. She added, "After that night, I became scared. Every time I saw your face in old pictures, I remembered the fear of losing you. So, slowly, I stopped looking at those photos. I kept listening. My heart felt heavy but confused." Mom continued, "And then, I don't know when, I made a very big mistake. I removed your photos from the walls. I thought it would protect me from fear, but instead, I hurt you." Dad added, "I told her it was wrong. I told her to stop, but she was not listening. She was scared, very scared. So we hired someone to edit photos, thinking maybe it will make her feel better." My hands became cold again. So that was the real truth. Fear, not hate. Fear of losing me. But did fear justify everything? No, not at all. I looked at Mom with serious eyes. Fear doesn't give you the right to erase me. I was alive. I was here. You choose to forget me while I was still in front of you. Mom broke down, crying again. She said between tears, I know. I lost myself. I forgot how to be a mother. I was wrong. I destroyed your place in this home. I am sorry. I will say sorry every day if I have to." Dad held her hand tightly. I felt the pain in my chest again, but this time the pain had understanding with it. I spoke softly. I needed to hear this. I needed to know you didn't erase me because I am not good enough. I needed to know you didn't replace me because she was better. Mom shook her head quickly. No, never. You are my daughter, my only daughter. My fear made me blind. But I love you, Dad said, and we want to fix things now. We know it will take time, but we want to try. I took a deep breath. Healing takes time. Trust takes time. Forgiveness takes time. I didn't fully forgive them right away, but I felt a small start inside my heart. I said, I want to heal too, but you must promise something. They both looked up quickly. What? I said, clearly, no more edited photos. No more removing my face. No more hiding me. Ever again. They both nodded strongly. Dad said, we promise. Mom said, I will protect every photo of you with my life. I looked at them for a moment. Then, finally, I nodded too. It was not full forgiveness, but it was the first step. After this emotional moment, Dad suggested we take a new family photo. A real one. Not edited. Not changed. A photo where everyone looked real. I said yes. Mom quickly fixed her hair. My brother came out of his room, half sleepy, when he heard Dad calling for a family picture. We all stood together near the big wall where my real photos were hanging. Dad set the camera on timer. We stood close to each other. It felt strange at first. After so many years of distance, standing close felt new. Then the camera clicked. Click. A small sound, but a big moment. Dad came back and checked the picture. He smiled genuinely. This is perfect. Mom nodded. My brother nodded. And I nodded too. That photo became our first real photo after many years of fear and mistakes. Later that day, we sat together and talked more. We remembered old stories. We laughed at some silly memories. Mom cried again once or twice, but the pain in her eyes now looked lighter. Dad looked calmer. My brother tried to make jokes, so the atmosphere stayed warm. For the first time in a long time, we looked like a real family again. Not perfect, not fully healed, but trying. Trying is important. Trying means hope. Trying means love still exists. As night came, I went back to my room holding the new family photo. I looked at it for a long time. I saw my face there, not replaced, not blurred, not hidden. My real face, in my real family, in my real place. After everything I went through, that simple picture felt like a treasure. I placed it on my desk. Then I looked at the wall full of my photos. They were shining softly in the light. They looked beautiful, each one telling a part of my story. But now, I felt ready for something new. I was not the same girl who cried alone in her room. I was stronger now. I understood something important. People can erase your photos, but they can never erase your truth. Your real memories stay inside you. Nobody can take that away. I went to sleep with a calm heart that night, and as I closed my eyes, I whispered to myself, "This is a new beginning, a new life, a new me." And for the first time, I believed it. So friends, this was my story. A story of pain, fear, and the truth that was hidden for many years. My family tried to erase me from photos, but in the end, they could not erase my truth. I learned something important. Sometimes people hurt you not because they hate you, but because they don't know how to deal with their own fear. But healing starts the moment you choose to face the truth. Healing starts when you stop running from your own story. And healing becomes real when you finally take back your place, your voice, and your identity. Today, I am not invisible anymore. Today, my face is not missing from any photo. Today, I stand strong in my family and in my life. And if you ever feel forgotten and ignored or erased, remember this. Your story matters. Your place matters. And nobody can delete the real you. Thank you for listening to my journey. It means more than you know. If you want more stories like this, make sure you support the channel. Hit the like button, subscribe.